Roxford East, getting off the northbound side of the 5. And assignment desk, KMBC1. Do we know what this person's wanted for? (10-4). And this driver's doing much the same as what the last one was doing, getting off the freeway, northbound side of the 5, and now just did a U-turn and will now be going southbound on the 5. (10-4), possibly stolen car, failure to yield. Busy night for the LAPD here in the San Fernando Valley. This car is, the initial call was that it was a stolen vehicle, and then they tried to pull it over, and the car did not stop. So that's where we're at right now, southbound side of the 5. Coming up towards, what's next, the 118? Yep, 118 freeway. This car also traveling at a high rate of speed. We're going about 90. Coming up on San Fernando Mission. Now I'm going to pull out here. You can see there's no units right behind that vehicle. They are sort of in tracking mode, and the LAPD looking to hand this off to the CHP since this driver apparently is spending most of his or her time on the freeways. Coming up on the 118, southbound side of the 5. Again, allegedly stolen vehicle. Southbound. 10-4. Southbound side of the 5, we just crossed beneath the 118 freeway. This car going about 95, well, we're going about 95 miles an hour to keep up with the car, allegedly stolen. The LAPD tried to pull the driver over. The driver did not yield. And literally, this is just minutes after the termination of another pursuit in this same area. Completely unrelated, but busy night for the LAPD here in the Valley. Southbound side of the 5. Assignment desk, go ahead. Yep, he flipped he got off the freeway and turned around. We're southbound on the 5, passing Osborne. They are technically calling this tracking mode. There are no units directly behind, no LAPD units directly behind the vehicle. Tracking mode with the helicopter low there. You can see it just keeping the light on the driver, letting the driver know that wherever he or she goes, that LAPD helicopter will be right there with him. So what that does often is kind of calm the drivers down, the driver in pursuits down, and they're less likely to make really frantic maneuvers, but doesn't always work. Okay, southbound side of the 5, looks like we're coming up on Sheldon. Where'd the LAPD go? Where'd the LAPD helicopter go? Oh, there he is. Got him. All right. Now he's blacked out. No lights on that car. That's why he was somewhat invisible for a while. Approaching Lancashire, southbound side of the 5, high speeds. We're now going about 107 in News Chopper 4 to keep up with this pursuit. Southbound side of the 5, approaching Lancashire. Just passing Lancashire. You know, it's The car completely blacked out except for the occasional brake light, but that doesn't make it invisible to the helicopter above. So this, wow, this is getting some good speed here. We're 108 miles an hour here in News Chopper 4 to keep up with this guy southbound side of the 5. And boy, this is a kind of a dangerous pursuit because people won't know that this is coming up on them because of that blacked out car. Hopefully they'll see the helicopter spotlight. Sunland is our next exit, southbound side of the 5. He's going crossing lanes and just a little bit of traffic there. Wow, getting kind of erratic there. High speeds between 95 and 100 miles an hour right now. Whoa, crossing a lot of lanes there. Southbound side of the 5. Again, we're in the Sunland area. We'll be coming up on Bob Hope Burbank Airport soon. Oh, it's getting off. He's getting off. It looks like Hollywood Way, maybe? Yep, Hollywood Way, southbound side of the 5, just getting off the freeway here. Blasting through a stop sign. Had a hard time negotiating that turn. We'll see what he does on the other side of the freeway. We believe he may have bailed out under the freeway. He may have bailed out. The driver may, no. The LAPD airship says he's not coming out. He apparently bailed out under the freeway. So this is going to be hard for us to see exactly what he did. All right. This is Hollywood Way as it crosses beneath the 5 freeway. Hollywood Way, right next to Burbank Airport. We have the LAPD airship looking to see where he might pop out. Apparently the car did crash. Whether he had bailed out before that crash happened. Oh, there's somebody running there. There's something happening there. Shell gas station. Shell gas station. I heard them say, get to the Shell gas station, and now the CHP is getting in there, but I don't see any, I never saw anybody run out except for officers. He was apparently seen running westbound. Oh. Okay, so now we're hearing a little bit of a new thing. He may have he may have jumped into a wash that's near here. So maybe we can figure out where that is. Oh, okay. So the wash is over there on the other side. Let's see if we can get on the east side there. That'd be great. So we're hearing something about the wash, that he may have jumped into the wash. Apparently, he crashed his car underneath the freeway overpass there, and he may have jumped over the wall, which is a long jump. That's a high wall on both sides. They're checking out the wash, this wash that parallels the 5 freeway. Again, we're at 5 freeway at Hollywood Way. Yeah, I hear the police talking about how big of a drop that would be if somebody jumped off. That's about a 15-foot drop, they say. All right. We're looking at infrared. I've got the infrared punched up on the camera here, so you'll be able to see a little more detail than you would normally see here. I don't see anyone in the wash. Again, this is right where the Tujunga Wash there crosses Hollywood Way. Now let's see. Now we can see the car. The car is up on the sidewalk there. That's the car that was being pursued. Again, this was allegedly a stolen vehicle, failed to yield. LAPD tried to pull this car over. The person would not pull over. And they were in the process of handing this off to the CHP. The car crashed on that curb, and then the man disappeared, or the person disappeared from that car. We heard reports that he may have been running down towards the Shell gas station, but obviously the CHP and the LAPD have given that thought up. Now we have officers on both sides of this wash just kind of combing the turf there, looking for this person. A citizen had said that perhaps he jumped in, but it doesn't seem likely. That's a pretty big jump. So, yeah. There are neighbors out here, people out here. The LAPD and CHP all kind of converging on this area where Hollywood Way crosses beneath the 5. I'm listening to some scanner chatter that there may have been another vehicle involved with helping this person get out, helping this person escape. Again, the pursuit termination here at Hollywood Way as it crosses under the 5 freeway. And that is the last we saw of that driver. Basically went into that tunnel, crashed up on the curb right next to the tunnel. Hollywood Way and Magnolia. Hollywood Way and Magnolia. Something about a red light, but the airship is not leaving. I heard that, yeah. Are they? Where did he go? Where did he go? Is he already down there? So here's what we know. It sounds like this person had some outside help in escaping the CHP and the LAPD. They are now headed south along the wash. We're gonna check this out. Possibly along the wash or along Hollywood Way. Well, let me look down Hollywood Way. Do you see him? The airship? You know, there was another pursuit recently, almost in this identical area. Remember that? Where the person disappeared under the freeway tunnel, and another car had picked them up. Okay, so they're heading down that way. I think we should go down there. Yeah, if you can go down Hollywood Way, see if Burbank will let you through. We're right next to Burbank Airport, so a lot of air traffic to contend with as well. There are reports that this westbound Magnolia, yeah, bingo, let's go. So we believe they are now in a Ford F-150, another vehicle at just down the road here. They're gonna pursue them. Okay, where? Yeah, some craziness. another vehicle apparently came and picked up the driver, and now they are going to go pursue that vehicle. We believe it's a Ford F-150. Burbank PD. Okay, I heard the 134. They're eastbound on the 134. Okay. Got the PD ship. Westbound 134. Almost to the 170. Where do you see those? Again, for those of you at home who may be watching this on the NBC LA app, what we had here was a pursuit of a stolen vehicle. The driver would not yield, allegedly stolen vehicle, and the car being pursued crashed in a tunnel where Hollywood Way crosses beneath the 5 freeway. And at that point, we believe that somebody else came along and picked up that driver. Maneuverable as the last vehicle. Again, this is the westbound side of the 101 approaching Woodman. It's hard to see what's in the back of that truck. It looks like there's something back there. Oops. Yep. All right, so a bizarre situation. So we know that there are 2 people possibly inside that vehicle. Again, this truck is thought by the police to have picked up the driver from another pursuit that just ended in the Sunland area. We're westbound on the 101 freeway at Van Nuys, through Van Nuys Boulevard. And continuing there. We're going about 80 miles an hour to keep up with this. Looks like fairly light traffic. Well, no, there's still some traffic up here. The Ventura Freeway, westbound, as you know, Sherman Oaks and Encino really only starts to calm down later in the evening. A lot of traffic here. So this driver could possibly... Go ahead. Well, that's just it. We don't know, but there were eyewitness reports on the ground from residents down there that told the cops that indeed that truck stopped and picked up the driver from the other car. But as far as knowing for sure, yep. Oh, yeah. Looks like we're going to do the 10-4, 10-4. Where'd he go now? You see, oh, there he is. Okay, he's going south 405. Southbound 405 from the 101, Ventura Freeway. Kind of wide open, fairly wide open through the Sepulveda Pass. He's heading south. Boy. Fast speed on the right side. This driver's been very erratic. Southbound 405, we're headed into the Sepulveda Pass. This Ford F-150 truck, again, what we understand is that eyewitnesses at the end of the last pursuit, it was a stolen vehicle, they apparently at least according to chatter that we heard on the scanners, on the police frequencies, people on the ground told officers that someone from that other car that crashed jumped into this truck and was taken away. And obviously, this vehicle is not stopping. Southbound side of the 405 in the Sepulveda Pass. Passing under the Mulholland Bridge. Coming up on Skirball Center. Oh, he's getting off. He's getting off the freeway at Skirball Center. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. Okay, 10-4. So an interesting twist. Burbank police, which were also involved in this because this truck sort of went through the city of Burbank, they are concerned because this may not actually be an accomplice who picked this person up. This could possibly, they just don't know what's going on here. They don't know if this truck was carjacked, perhaps, or if this is a friend that tried to help out the driver in that last pursuit involving the stolen vehicle. They blacked out. You know, this driver is exhibiting a lot of the same stuff that the driver of that car was doing. We're southbound on Sepulveda Boulevard in the Sepulveda Sepulveda Boulevard in the Sepulveda Pass, right next to the 405, and I am hearing chatter. They are very concerned about the situation inside that truck, whether the person, kind of hijacked this truck, carjacked this truck, and whether the victim is still inside. Obviously, we're going to continue to follow this. This is southbound Sepulveda Pass on Sepulveda Boulevard. Whoa. And that was a scary situation. So, okay, getting back on the freeway. Looks like we're going to be northbound on the 405 through the Sepulveda Pass. So this truck, or the driver of, trying to return to the San Fernando Valley, it looks like. All right, so going to have some traffic northbound side of the 405. Lights are back on. Here's what we know. We had a stolen vehicle pursuit, a sedan, that wound its way around the valley. The car crashed on Hollywood Way beneath the 5 freeway. The driver never came out of that tunnel. But people on the ground told police that driver jumped into this truck. We don't know if the person who was driving this truck is still in that truck, if they're an accomplice or perhaps a carjacking victim. We just won't know until this is until this ends. Actually, we're northbound on the 405, approaching Mulholland. Cars are doing a good job. Other drivers are doing a good job of staying out of the way. Alex, can we do the vent again, please? Oh yeah, do that. Thank you. All right, he's a little behind the ledge there. Okay, there he is. There's LAPD. We have LAPD, CHP, Burbank PD, a lot of people involved in this pursuit. This truck went through Burbank, although it wasn't initially wanted, until the driver of a previous pursuit jumped into it, according to witnesses. Now, up ahead, we do have some traffic. Really? Yep, okay. So again, the LAPD and the Burbank Police and the CHP all trying to figure out what is going on here, whether this truck, whether the driver of this truck attempted to help the driver in another pursuit get away, or whether that driver actually carjacked this. The police now calling this a possible grand theft auto. So we have the CHP, so the LAPD, here's what they had asked for the CHP to take over, but now they are actually bringing in their elite metropolitan units to deal with this situation. The CHP is going to be involved in this, but LAPD's metro officers very, very high stakes pursuit now at this point, because there is the possibility that there could be a victim being held in that truck. Looking up ahead, not a lot of traffic. So this truck's still going at a high rate of speed. We're going almost 90 miles an hour to keep up with this guy. Victory Boulevard, northbound on the 405. Northbound on the 405. You can see an unmarked unit right behind the vehicle. Going through Burbank Boulevard, northbound side of the San Diego Freeway. This car just moving, this truck, Ford F-150. And some erratic driving into the carpool lane there. Northbound side of the 405, we're passing Victory now. Past Victory on the northbound side of the 405. All right, so if we can get more a little directly, I don't know. Okay, passing Sherman Way, northbound side of the 405. High rate of speed, we're going about 92, 93 miles an hour. Passing Satakoy now on the northbound side of the 405. That black truck, not hitting anyone yet, but some erratic driving as this truck continues to barrel down the 405 northbound with LAPD, CHP, Burbank PD all in pursuit, and a helicopter right over the roof of that truck. Roscoe Boulevard. LAPD has decided that they will remain the lead agency on this. They are not handing this over to the CHP. That's because it's kind of an unusual situation. We may have a carjacking suspect possibly inside that Ford F-150 truck, along with the driver. Looks like we just passed Nordhoff. We seem like we're kind of far back, huh? All right. All right. Just past Nordhoff. That Metropolitan unmarked unit right behind the pickup truck. LAPD marked units will get back into this because they are better for pursuing vehicles just in terms of their visibility. Northbound side of the 405. Looks like we're coming up to Devonshire. Wow. Dodging in between lanes, in between cars. This is obviously a driver who's very desperate to get away. Looks like he's passing Devonshire, northbound 405. This is a grand theft auto suspect now, according to the LAPD, we're hearing. 118, we're getting on the 118. For all intents and purposes, this driver is almost matching turn for turn everything that the driver of that previous car that was involved in a pursuit was doing. 118 eastbound. Wow, he is picking up the speed now. We're going 118 miles an hour to catch up with this person. Yeah, we need to. Eastbound side of the 118. This will kind of go through the Pacoima / San Fernando area. Boy, he's really kicking up the speed here. We're at 121 miles an hour. I'll show you what's up ahead. There is some traffic up ahead, and you can see the drivers, as soon as they see all this commotion in their rearview mirrors, they do kind of scatter and slow down. We've been we're all good with fuel. Okay, we're getting off the freeway. Let's see where we're headed. Is that the 5 we're jumping over to? Okay, we're on the 5 now, southbound from the 118. Southbound side of the 5 from 118. Southbound 5, we're approaching Osborne here in Pacoima. This pickup truck traveling quite at a high rate of speed. You can see the LAPD helicopter directly overhead. There's absolutely nowhere this truck's going to go that that helicopter isn't. Not to mention us and other media ships. Past Terabella now, southbound side of the 5. Southbound 5, approaching the 170. And I am just going to grab some water. Passing Brantford now, southbound side of the 5, the Golden State Freeway. That truck has a lot of tinted glass there. We're really having a hard time seeing through there, so it's hard to tell how many people are in that vehicle. We're now southbound side of the 5 from the 170 freeway. This pursuit continuing. Looks like we're going to be heading into the Burbank area. Approaching Sheldon, southbound side of the 5. Now, just to tell you, we are putting the pedal to the metal here in News Chopper 4 to keep up with this pursuit suspect, this stolen vehicle suspect, possibly grand theft auto, maybe even a carjacking. Looks like we're getting off the freeway at Lancashire. Getting off at Lancashire now. We'll have to see what happens. There is some traffic up ahead. Oh, he's stopping. He's stopping. Okay, we are stopped on the Lancashire off-ramp, or, off-ramp from the southbound side of the 5. Vehicle took off. Oh, he's turning left on Lancashire, so we're going to be headed north on Lancashire, possibly getting back on the freeway, as we've seen in this pursuit earlier tonight. We're getting back on the northbound side of the 5. There he is. So northbound side of the 5 from Lancashire. Looks like we're coming up on Sheldon. And a lot of, not able to really see, a lot of tinted glass there in that vehicle. So it's a little hard to, technically, the police are technically in tracking mode. They're following this vehicle with the helicopter. He's been going so fast and doing such unpredictable things, like going off ramps and then turning around and going the opposite direction, that the officers really haven't been able to keep up with him. But the helicopter is not having that problem. The helicopter will follow this truck wherever it goes. Oh, getting off the freeway. Off at Osborne. Getting off at Osborne here in Pacoima. A lot of speed off that off-ramp. We may have some trouble. He may have some trouble. Well, we've got traffic up ahead. And he is, he squeezed right through there. So, going underneath the freeway. This is Osborne. Oh, where are we going? It looked like he tried to get on the 5 south. Now we're going to, yeah, we are going south. He just took a different ramp. Southbound 5 again. So we're kind of going around in circles here. Southbound side of the 5, approaching the 170 here in Pacoima. This is tricky for all the air traffic above. Every time he does one of those turns, all of us who are following this pursuit all kind of have to put on our brakes suddenly and scatter in different directions. Southbound 5. Looks like we're getting on the 170. Now we're southbound on the 170. So we haven't been on the 170 yet tonight, but we are now. This truck making those turns, those unpredictable off-ramp and on-ramp turns, is really, really successfully eluded the officers on the ground. The only real law enforcement presence near the truck now is the helicopter. So they're trying to predict what is next. They don't know, again, they don't know if there's a carjacking victim with the driver inside that truck, or if it's a friend of his or hers who picked that driver up. We're coming up on Sherman Way on the southbound side of the 170. This freeway will eventually take us into the North Hollywood area. That helicopter just, wow. Now officers on the ground are getting a little closer behind this vehicle. The helicopter really just doing a great job, the LAPD airship, with keeping up with this pursuit, keeping up with this truck that at times has traveled over 100 miles an hour on the freeways. A different police agency, but at any rate, we're continuing southbound on the 170 past Magnolia. This is headed towards North Hollywood on the 170. He's on the brakes. He's on the brakes. He's getting off the freeway. We're going to see what's going to happen at the bottom of this off-ramp. There's some traffic. It looks like a couple of cars. Going to pull out right there. I believe that is Riverside. Going the wrong way underneath the 170 on Riverside. Right through that intersection. Red lights. Wrong direction. Looks like we're headed eastbound here. Okay, the eastbound on Camarillo. If you live in North Hollywood, anywhere near Camarillo, you want to stay away from a lot of traffic. You want to stay away from the streets because we're now southbound Lancashire from Camarillo. This driver is actually kind of headed towards our station, towards KNBC on the southbound lanes of Lancashire. And we'll see. But, yeah, this driver's still going. Go ahead. We're good through 1135, right, Alex? Okay. Yep. Nope, we are southbound on Lancashire, headed right for you. Oh, cars, a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. Well, looks like we're going to make a turn here. Is that Coanga? What is that? It is? Oh, it's Ventura. Okay, wow. We got down here quickly. So now we're on Ventura Boulevard, one of the busiest boulevards. Oh, that car not wanting to get out of the way. We're on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City. One of the busiest streets you can possibly be on during the day. It doesn't look too bad right now, but oh my gosh. This driver just going at extremely high rates of speed. Looks like we're coming up, or we may have just passed Tahunga. Westbound on Ventura. Yep. Westbound on Ventura. Coming up on Laurel Canyon. Now that's going to probably be a very busy intersection, so I'm going to Colfax is the next one, I'm sorry. And then looks like they have the left turn on Colfax. That's going to wow, look at that. That was Colfax and Ventura Boulevard threading the needle. I don't know, but look, we've got some traffic up ahead. We don't know what he's doing on Ventura Boulevard, but looks like we are, what is that? What is that? That is not westbound on, what is that little street, that little side street between Laurel Canyon and Ventura? Anyway, we are now northbound on Laurel Canyon. It does seem like he's trying to get back towards the Panorama City area, kind of. A lot of traffic up, complicating things, and traffic coming the other direction. There's not enough room there for a vehicle to fit between oncoming cars and the ones next to him. Okay, now we got approaching Moore Park. There's a pedestrian, barely missing that pedestrian. Northbound through the red light, through Moore Park. Yep. Coming up on the 101. Freeway, going underneath the 101 freeway, northbound. Nope. We're getting on the 101. Getting on the 101 westbound. all the way to the left lane. He's really done an effective job at eluding officers on the ground. He's turned off his lights again. He's completely blacked out. But again, that isn't really going to be a problem for the helicopter who's right over it. And the lights are back on. Approaching Woodman now. All right, we're westbound on the Ventura Freeway, the 101. Again, this is a vehicle believed to be involved in a grand theft auto, possibly a carjacking. There was another car that was involved in a pursuit earlier, a stolen vehicle, according to the LAPD. And that car crashed. And witnesses on the ground say that driver of that car jumped into this truck and took off. We've pretty much, for the most part, been going around the north end of the valley. We did, this driver did take us down the 405, down through the Sepulveda Pass just a little bit earlier. But we're back in the valley now, westbound on the 101, approaching the 405. Again, we're going 92 miles an hour to keep up. Wow. Close calls, a lot of close calls. I have not seen any collisions with other vehicles yet, but a whole lot of close calls. We may have some tight traffic, a little bit of tight traffic. We'll see what's going on. Looks like he may be taking the 405, which we've already seen a couple times this evening. Or not. He's still staying in those right lanes, which would transition to either direction of the 405. Yep, he looks like he's choosing the 405. Northbound 405. We're headed north on the 405. We are in the Sherman Oaks, Lake Balboa area, and we're northbound on the 405. So this particularly challenging pursuit for both the police and our coverage, just because of the sort of unpredictable turns. We're going almost 90 miles an hour to keep up. I do, loud and clear. Thank you, Mark. So northbound side of the 405, I'll give you kind of a wide shot here. Not a lot in terms of police cars right behind him, but the helicopter's certainly over him. And he's crossing a lot of lanes there. Victory, where looks like he's northbound on the 405, staying in the carpool lane. We've passed Victory. And still passing a lot of vehicles. We're going about 90, 94. It's going to be hard to figure out how this is going to end because the officers are not having much luck getting in front of this pursuit because he makes so many wild turns. So we're getting off the freeway, it looks like. Sherman Way. We're getting off at Sherman Way from the 405. We'll have to see which direction he goes here. Okay, we're going west on Sherman Way, which goes under the freeway. It also goes under the runways at Van Nuys Airport. So we're going to lose this for just a moment if he continues going west there, because he is going to go beneath the runways here at Van Nuys. We're on Sherman Way, extreme speeds for surface streets. We're looking at maybe 50, 60 miles an hour, more like 60 miles an hour on surface streets. Okay, now this is a big, I believe, it's going to go right through there, barrel right through there. We are westbound on Sherman Way. Okay, now we're getting very close to Van Nuys Airport, so he's going to disappear under that tunnel. He's going to go under the runway here at Van Nuys Airport, and there he is. Boy, he got through that tunnel very quickly. Through Sepulveda. At this point, this is all police. The police helicopter is barely able to keep up with him. He's going 91 miles an hour right now. Where are we going here? Waiting for traffic. Is just the helicopter, and only the helicopter at this point, basically. There are the ground units, both LAPD and CHP, are just scrambling to try to keep up with this guy, figure out where he's going. All right, we are in Balboa southbound. Okay, took a left there. Oh, that was a tight one. That was a tight one. Coming up on Havenhurst. Northbound Havenhurst. Northbound on Havenhurst. Unfortunately, these little neighborhoods where there can be so many people walking, driving, it's terrifying. Okay, there's a ground unit. And it looks like we're coming back to Sherman Way on Havenhurst. Approaching Sherman Way. Looks like we made a right turn there on Sherman Way. Westbound. We're going under the Van Nuys Airport runways again. There he goes. Okay, we're actually eastbound and just went approaching to Woodley. And of course, the 405 will be next. Eastbound through Woodley on Sherman Way. Wow, picking up some speed as ground units are getting a little closer to them. Uh-oh. Oh, he's stuck in traffic. He's stuck in a lot of traffic. He's going over the center divider. Wrong way. Whoa. That car is so close. Northbound Haskell from Sherman Way. Going right through red lights, being incredibly lucky so far in that he hasn't hit anything. Coming up on Satiquoy, northbound on Haskell. And he is cruising. Red lights do not stop him. Maybe slowing down a little bit here. Eastbound on Satiquoy. Yep, going under the 405. Looking good. Eastbound on Satiquoy, passing people going the wrong direction in traffic. And right through a red light. Luckily, everyone saw what was coming and stopped. Eastbound Satiquoy from Sepulveda. He just passed Kester on the eastbound side of Satiquoy. All right, and to show you what's up ahead, Van Nuys Boulevard. Likely to be a little busier. Using the center median. He is coming up. He's got a red light, and he is going right, turning right, southbound on Van Nuys Boulevard. I apologize. I have to take. Whoa, close call there. A car was going through the intersection. The car had the green light. He just blasted through the intersection. We're on, again, in these really small neighborhoods. We're on Valerio, residential area, tight turns, a lot of people. I'm taking little pauses and talking because I'm literally starting to kind of go hoarse here. Tyrone approaching Sherman Way. We've seen this car, left turn, we've seen this car spend a lot of time on Sherman Way. Wait, yeah. Picking up some speed right through that intersection. Eastbound Sherman Way from Hazeltine. This driver's obviously in a desperate situation. Just a total disregard for everybody else's safety. We are eastbound on Sherman Way. Eastbound on Sherman Way through Woodman. Continuing eastbound on Sherman Way at a good 65 miles an hour on Sherman Way. Boy, he's splitting needle, kind of threading the needle there in between cars. Wow, wrong way, right around that car that was making a left turn. Eastbound Sherman Way, approaching Coldwater Canyon. It looks like we're going to make a turn on Coldwater. Northbound Coldwater Canyon from Sherman Way. Northbound Coldwater Canyon through Saticoy. Oh, a lot of traffic. He's going to have to go the opposite side of, boy, right through the red light there. Now you see those that Metropolitan unit, that unmarked car right behind him now. The LAPD's had time in watching this pursuit to kind of analyze what this person has been, where he's been going or wanting to go. We've got an intersection up here, a T, what they call a T intersection, and he is going to turn right, and that is Foothill. Southbound Whitsett. And now we are making a left turn. Sherman Way again. Eastbound Sherman Way, approaching the 170. Eastbound Sherman Way, looks like past the 170. And what are we coming up on? He just made a south turn. Southbound Laurel Canyon from Sherman Way. Southbound Laurel Canyon from Sherman Way. Ground units haven't even been able to get close enough to think about doing a pit maneuver. We haven't heard any talk of spike strips, nothing like that. Southbound Laurel Canyon, we're going about 65 miles an hour through Victory. Through Victory there, southbound Laurel Canyon. And southbound Laurel Canyon through Irwin. Under the 170. Busy intersection, red light. Oh, he spun out a little bit. He's going to crash. He's going to crash. Oh, he just crashed into that building. Okay, they are moving in. He crashed right there at the Shell gas station. This is, okay, there's somebody going running. He is going running. They are catching him. We are just, boy, what is going on around the corner there? Officer's running. He's just on the other side of that. This is Laurel Canyon. And I'll have a cross street for you in a second here. There's a dog, a canine unit. Officers converging on that suspect. That dog is trying to get out, trying to get to the suspect, quite frankly. They have the suspect down. That was just a case of the driver of that vehicle that's being pursued, that F-150, Ford F-150, just losing it. We're looking at him being patted down. Two people are in custody. I'm going to check out the other scene in just a second here. The driver in custody. Well, there's a little confusion as to whether there's more than one person in custody here. But we certainly have that driver who jumped out. Okay, we are hearing that this is indeed the driver who was in that vehicle. Now, it's not confirmed officially by the LAPD, but we're hearing witnesses who are seeing this live picture telling the LAPD that this was the guy that was in the other car that crashed earlier this evening. So he's under arrest. He's got the handcuffs on. I'm going to see if I can get you a cross street now. This is Laurel Canyon, right near Oxnard. Laurel Canyon and Oxnard. And I'm going to look in a little more carefully at what happened with this truck. So it looks like somebody just got put into that car too. Why don't we, guys, why don't we, can we scoot, or can we scooch around to the other side of the Shell station so I can get it, so I can get a shot of the truck better. That was okay. There it is. That truck just flew right into the side of that building. Yes. I think somebody is in the back of that car, too. Whew.